Welcome everyone to another episode of Time for BL. This is the podcast where we review movies, TV shows, novels, and comics, all in the boys love genre. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I do have an affiliate link with Amazon.com. You can actually go to the description. The link is located right there. So yeah, on to the show. So guys, the link this week is actually to a BL manga page on Amazon.com. It has Blue Kiss in English. It has My Oxygen. A lot of fan favorites are in there. If you're familiar with Heaven Official's Blessing. Heaven Official's Blessing. It's on there as well, and there's also Change of Heart. It's just a lot of awesome options on there, so definitely click that. Check out anything that you might be interested in. I know I definitely want to get Change of Heart and Blue Kiss because I've been wanting to read that in English. So yeah, go ahead and click the affiliate link in the description and check it out. I am totally so excited about this episode because I watched this comedy, I guess, and I was like, this is the greatest and sweetest thing ever. It's so cute. Oh my god. And what I'm talking about is the Japanese comedy called My Love Mix-Up, or Kieta Hatsukoi, I guess. It's a 2021 Japanese slice of life show based off the manga of the same name, which by the way I love as well. Because I love the show so much, I read the manga real quick. The story, it follows 14 to become victims of a slight misunderstanding, but it all works out in the end. What I love about this, it gave me Heartstopper vibes throughout. Because I read, of course, Heartstopper, the comic on Webtoons, as well as reading Kieta Hatsukoi, the manga online, and even though I can't read all of it, there's so much translation to be done. But the volumes I was able to read, it is so cute, and I got to actually read everything that is placed in the show because they kind of cut and splice different parts of the show for the episodes. So we start with the main character. His name is Aoki. He needs an eraser because they're having a pop quiz for their class, and he doesn't have one. He tries asking his best friend Aida for one, but he actually doesn't have an extra one. And his crush, Hashimoto, the girl on the other side, says, hey, I have one here. So he borrows it, and he's so excited because, oh, Hashimoto, she's not only cute, she is so kind. But then he realizes there's something written on the eraser, and it is Ida-kun with a heart. Ida-kun is the guy who sits in front of him, and he realizes Hashimoto likes him. When Ida sees the eraser with his name on it, when he turns to pass down the quiz papers, he asks Aoki, why do you have my name on this eraser? And Aoki, because he doesn't want to hurt Hashimoto, have Ida all of a sudden just reject her, or expose her crush and then embarrass her publicly, he decides to pretend it's his eraser. So this is where the confusion begins. What's really cute is Ida is ready, right away. He's turning down Aoki, and Aoki's instantly just don't tell anybody, okay? Just don't tell anybody. And because he's talking about his feelings for Hashimoto and how what he's going through with realizing his crush is not for him. She is for someone else. How heartbroken he is. So eventually Ida decides he wants to take Aoki's confession seriously. He wants to really think about it and really see if he wants to begin dating him. So this is like where Aoki is trying his best to help Hashimoto out, set her up with Ida, but because of this whole experience, he's realizing he's falling for Ida because he really likes how Ida is treating him, how Ida makes him feel, how he comforts him by, putting his hand on his head and just giving him a little head rub. He's loving all of this, so he decides to do something. He and Hashimoto take a walk, and he admits to her that, hey, I also have a crush on him, and he is waiting to be rejected and told he's disgusting or anything like, how dare you, ew, you can't like him. And instead he's accepted. He's getting approval. She's like, I don't blame you. Yeah, he's amazing, isn't he? And the two of them are just walking around talking about how cool he is, how sweet he is, how caring he is, the fact that he helped them out with props, like all this stuff that he's done and how he makes them feel. And they are in that moment going, well, I guess we're rivals. And it's so cute. It's so cute. But like I said, this actually is about 4 teens and not 3 teens in their love triangle. So, of course, when Ida and Aoki has now like admitting his feelings to Ida, and he's getting all these opportunities to really spend time with him and get to know him and see how he feels and all that stuff. And he's getting more and more confused because he can't tell if Ida really likes him. So when his best friend Aida figure it out realizes, hey, Ida might like you, Aoki tells him the truth about the situation, and Aida is just like, oh, okay, let's go solve it, let's just go talk to him. And even though Aoki really does like Ida and really wants to get to know Ida, he's now in a situation because of his best friend where he has to tell Ida the truth, that it was a mix-up and it technically wasn't his eraser. And how now it's like this confusing thing for him. He's like, okay, he knows the truth, but I really do like him. I'm just giving away so much about it. So if you've watched it before, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that scene. But also what I really enjoy is Aida realizing, wait, something is up, and going to Hashimoto because she knocked the bleep out of him. Oh my gosh. she took him down. And asking her for the truth. And when he finds out the truth, he's not upset because, oh my gosh, how could he like a boy? He's upset because he's like, what have I done to my friend that he's never felt like he could tell me when he likes someone? And how horrible a friend I must be that here he is, he likes this guy, and I don't talk to him about it, or I'm just someone he can't talk to about it, that I never got the full story, and I just ruined their chance at a relationship. And I really love Aida's introspection with that entire thing. And then, going to Aoki and letting Aoki know he's sorry. And when Aoki said, oh, I just thought your reaction was normal, going, no, not normal. Like, I'm supposed to, as your friend, be there for you and accept you. Like, that was wrong of me. Love that. I love the detective who's always wrong. I also love that now we have this little friendship group forming with the main characters. and kind of split up with who's hanging out with who more, especially since Hashimoto and Aoki, they hang out a lot more because they both know what the other person is going through and know who the other person likes, and is like helping each other and cheering each other on to express their feelings. I love that. I love that whole growth that happens between them. And I also really love how when they went on the trip, because in the manga and in the show, the trips are a little different, but it's the same thing where they group up together and they fail every time. But when they went on the trip, they're like trying to cheer each other on, but they're both just like, oh, we can't do this. And it's actually really adorable how they have like formed this bond of cowardice, which they're told they're cowards in the show, that's why they couldn't do anything. But like them in the show using that, and in the book kind of also using that, like because what it is a fear of rejection, to finally tell the people they like, hey, this is how I feel. And them having two completely different outcomes with what their confessions lead to, and being able to again still come together as friends, really comfort each other in that, and rescue the other from bad hairstyle choices. Now, the difference between the show and the manga here, like there's differences between the show and the manga throughout, but the difference between the show and the manga here, in the manga, she's choosing between dreadlocks and afros, and for the show they changed that, which I'm very happy they did. But what they changed it to is she's decided because her crush likes mangas about like school delinquents or something like that, she wants to get a pompadour. If you watch, oh gosh, I can't think of the anime, Yu Yu Hakusho, what's the name of that guy with the pompadour in Yu Yu Hakusho? But it's like that, a whole thing where like the gangster kids, they wear these pompadours and all that stuff, and it's used kind of like to show you who the delinquents are. And in real life, there is actually a whole subculture in Japan where they do wear pompadours and the street gang chic, but they're not actually gang members. It's just a style to look good. It's kind of like the gyaru, style of dress and stuff like that. But yeah, she decides she's gonna do a pompadour. In the book, she decides she's gonna do an afro, but the whole thing is the same, where Aoki wants to stop her, and through this, Ida finds out that he used to have a crush on Hashimoto. Hashimoto also eventually finds out that Aoki had a crush on her, and he has to explain to her, like, actually, I'm glad I told you, because I don't feel that way at all anymore, and it's kind of just more like a just letting you know. We saw that in Bad Buddy the series, where Pat told Ink that he liked her, and she was like, that doesn't sound like a confession, it sounds like you're just getting something off your chest. And he's like, yeah, it kind of is, just finally got that out of the way, let's move on with our lives now. And that kind of was it. And I love that whole thing, to show that growth between them as friends as well, where it's like, I'm not into you anymore, it's like I'm just telling you because we're in this situation and we're friends and we can talk to each other about anything. I'm like, I feel like I'm babbling now. I have like my notes and I'm going off of that, but I went off on that tangent there. Anyway, but yeah, like Ida finding out how he used to have a crush on Hashimoto, and we see now as well between Ida and Aoki where their relationship goes, as far as in that beginning stages of the relationship, because a relationship in general is new to both of them having to figure out how they actually feel, what's going on, and them kind of like just neither of them really knowing what to do in a relationship. Like, just like, hey, should we do this? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's try this. And then, of course, the love rival. I prefer her character in the show versus in the book, because in the book she's like trying to make herself look like what she perceives a mature woman to dress and look like, with heavy makeup and dyeing her hair like blonde or something like that. And the teacher in this is just treating her like a teacher, like, hey, you're not supposed to dye your hair like that, how dare you. And she's just, oh my god, he's so amazing. In this, the teacher actually gets to shut her down. I didn't mention the teacher. So the teacher in the show has a bigger part to play than in the book. In the book, teachers are played by a bunch of different characters and they're very insignificant. It's like adults don't exist in this world. In the show though, this particular teacher, he plays a huge role throughout the entire show. He is not only their homeroom teacher, he's their math teacher, and also the volleyball coach, I guess, or volleyball teacher representative. Who I didn't fully understand that whole thing, because the volleyball, it was more like a volleyball club than necessarily a team. Clubs versus teams. Anyway, they weren't that great, but yeah, he has a bigger role in this. And she actually in this show, tells the teacher she likes him, and I really like that we get a scene of the teacher letting her know, I'm not interested in you like that, have a good day. And being nice to her, in that not embarrassing her and letting everyone know, like, oh yeah, she was trying to give me that present, but I told her that was inappropriate, I'm a teacher. But instead just going, oh, she wants to give that to somebody, but I told her she needs to just give it to them herself after. Oh, okay. And all the boys, of course, wanting her to give it to them, like all that. I also love that Ida is just like the teacher in that trying not to embarrass her thing. It's so cute. Now, where am I in my notes? Because I've jumped to the volleyball thing. So yeah, I like how they did her in the show a lot more than in the book, but I like that obstacle as well, with the two of them, with Ida having to kind of confront, like, oh, I like him? Huh. Oh, I care about him. Yeah. Like having to kind of go through that. And I also like the next step of like their development, with Ida not seeing any reason to hide their relationship. Like, he really, because when his friends come to him, like, hey, are you and Aoki dating? Yeah, we are. He just spills it. While Aoki, he's just so nervous and so high strung, and I love that they have he has this like anxiousness. He is the one who overthinks everything throughout, and Ida is kind of the one who keeps centering him, like it's really not that big a deal. He's just like, it's not, like, no, it's not. But this being like this huge catalyst, it becomes a situation in their relationship where Aoki can't fathom the idea of people knowing and accepting. Like, another example actually is the second teacher, Mr. Okada. I actually have him way down in my notes. So Mr. Okada is a teacher who becomes Aoki's tutor. He is there and like teaching. In the show, he's there as an assistant teacher, like he's in college and he's studying to be a teacher. So it's there like a training session he's there for. But in the manga, he actually works at a tutoring service, like a cram school, and Aoki goes there to be tutored. So his storyline actually appears way later in the manga, but they moved it and changed it up a little bit for the show. And he actually is able to bring out this potential in Aoki to do better in school. He bonds with him on the level of a student. He asks him about, hey, when Aoki kind of lets it slip that the person who he's dating also is like in science, so he wants to do better so that he can continue to be in the same class as them. He is like, oh my gosh, I used to do that too, and starts asking him questions, and he actually answers the questions honestly. And the teacher, Mr. O'Connor, is like realizing how innocent and pure their relationship is, because they haven't even held hands yet and all this stuff, which brings up a whole new thing for Aoki to overthink. But in both stories, he does agree to take Aoki to eat ramen if he does really well on a test. But when he sees Aoki holding hands with Ida on a bridge, he tells him that he doesn't want to give Aoki the wrong idea by taking him out to eat, because he doesn't go that way. He doesn't swing that way. So Aoki is very heartbroken, because for the first time since dating Ida, he has finally received the negative reactions that he's been expecting from his friends and from everyone around them. And he, in telling his friends and Ida about the whole thing, sees Okana's reaction as normal. Like, of course he reacted like that. That's the way people react. And everyone having to tell him, no, that's not the way people should react. His friends want to give Mr. Okana a piece of their mind. And Ida very calmly is like, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip volleyball practice and go talk to this guy and let him know what's up. Now, this actually becomes one of my favorite episodes of the show. It also becomes one of my favorite scenes, manga scenes as well, because what it is, instead of it mainly being about just Aoki, it's also about Mr. Okano kind of facing his prejudice and learning that he is using negative stereotypes to label a child, because Aoki's a teen. He's just a teen kid just living his life. And Aoki also learning that he shouldn't allow people to use negative stereotypes to dictate who he is. Now, one of the things is, like, he saw something really innocent. He saw Ida and Aoki, they're on the bridge, and for the first time ever, they're holding hands. But someone was able to look on that and sully that and be like, oh my god, this means you do this and you do this. And Aoki does finally stand up for himself in the end, which is really wonderful to see. And Ida invites Mr. Okana to join them. And in doing that, the teacher is able to see how innocent this relationship is, because he's just sitting there and seeing just these two kids just, sitting down, eating dinner together, talking about life. And it's very simple, and it's, of course, the whole thing is like wrapped up in a bow. Let's tell the truth. Stuff like this doesn't always happen in real life. A lot of time the bigot's always gonna bigot. But it was nice to see it done here, in the sense that the message mainly being, don't accept this kind of prejudice from anyone, because this is coming from his teacher, someone who he looked up to, someone he thought would be a true mentor for him, because they were so similar. But just finding out that, hey, he's in a relationship with a guy, this man has decided that you are all these bad things, which don't necessarily even have to be bad, because it depends on your life. You live your life. But yeah, like he's determined this just by one thing, and it's just so sad to see. And I'm just happy to see in the end Aoki realizing that he needs to stand up for himself and his relationship. So I'm glad they put that in. And one of the things I noticed, like just looking at the credits at the end, it looks like they worked with like someone. I wasn't even sure exactly, but it does look like they worked with some kind of organization or something, just to make sure that everything was going swell, which yay. That's good if they did do that. So yeah, back to Aoki and Ida and their argument, because Ida just told his friends, and we learn it's because Aoki thinks his friends are going, again, that whole negativity, they're going to deny him, they're going to treat him badly, they're going to do this to him, they're going to do that to him. And even the friends are like, why would we do that to Ida? He's our friend. It's raining, y'all. Oh my god. But they're even like, why would we do that to him? He is our friend. And Aoki having to be like, really? You would never treat him like that? And like his friends want to celebrate the fact that they're in a relationship to show them like, hey, we accept you and we love you guys and you guys are amazing. Well, probably not love. Like, we're still your friends. It's too much affection if we say love. We don't do affection. But yeah, like his friends want to show that they do care and they do support, and they'll always be there for them. And that was really cute as well. It's cute in the book too. The book is different, but it's cute. In the book though, it's like, yeah, of course we support his relationship, because if he's in a relationship, that's going to mean more girls for us. Like the only reason, like, we need to get Ida off the market now. The part where in the show, like, there is a girl who is going to give one of us a package, or everybody looks at Ida like, it's gonna be you, because he's supposed to be the most attractive guy on the team, and the only other guy who would have a chance is already in a relationship. So they're like, all right, he's taken, so it's him. It's like, oh god, that whole thing. But I love overall the ending. Everybody getting in their relationships, falling in loves. The manga, of course, does it a little different than the show, but the whole thing is really sweet. And watching that show made me, of course, want to read the manga. And reading the manga, I'm just like, this is the greatest, cutest thing ever. I love how pure everything is. Like, we talked a lot about with Heartstopper how everything was just so wholesome. It's the same thing with this. It's just really wholesome. It's really sweet. It's really cute. It's great to see how everyone is, like, they're all just really good kids. They're just really good kids. I also love the background relationship. The class couple is, oh god, what are their name? Rumi and Harumi? Rumi and Haruma? I can't remember, but they're like the background couple, and they basically represent any couple in the background in the manga. They do all that stuff in the show, so it doesn't matter if it's different couples. They are all those couples in the show. They are Romeo and Juliet. No, not Romeo and Juliet. Cinderella and the Prince. My bad. I forgot. Cinderella and the Prince 1. There's Cinderella and the Prince. They are having tea together because that is their ritual. They are dancing around and not noticing anyone else and having no care in the world for anyone but each other. They're sitting on the steps taking selfies. They are like, every time I saw them in the background doing whatever coupley thing they were doing, I was like, this is the couple of the series. This is the one that you gotta go to. Hey, so when you're going on a date, how does that work? Like, how do you plan a date? Because they have all the information. They know everything. Oh my gosh, I love I love all the background characters, the little characters that we get to see here and there, and how they play in the story, and how there's like consistency with them, like with the class president going, "Sir, I have the same seat. You didn't change my seat." That's a good thing. You sit there. "Sir, it happened again. You said you picked randomly. I haven't changed my seat." Oh wow, look at how that worked out. Well, just sit right there. I love the teacher in the end as well, and how supportive he is of Ida and all his students in general, how he shows that he cares about his students, even with like the whole cheating storyline. Well, it's not really a storyline, but you know, of course, because Aoki has been actually studying and getting tutored by Ida originally, his grades shot up and he got a really good grade. So of course it's, all right, how did you get that grade? And he's like, no, just tell me what your study habits were. Let me know how you got the grade. I just need to know your study habits. How did you get that grade? And like Aoki freaking out like, I didn't cheat. I swear I didn't cheat. Okay, you keep saying you didn't cheat, so I'm starting to think you cheated. And then once, of course, it's revealed he was studying with Ida, it's like, why didn't you just say that? Okay, so you've been studying with Ida and he's been helping you out because he's really good at math, and that's why you were able to get a better grade. Okay. Love that. I loved all the interactions with him just because he's like so anxious and like so high strung with everything, freaking out with everything, and everyone just doing like, it's not that serious. And Hashimoto, actually, that's what makes their friendship work as well, because Hashimoto is like a level of that as well, where she's like, oh my god, what if this happens, and what if this happens, and what if this happens, versus like every like Aida and Ida, who are just like, hey, there's the potatoes, let's go get that. Like they're both just so chill about everything. It's just awesome. Okay, so overall, My Love Makes Up, the show and the manga both get a 9 out of 10. And I am just gonna keep reading because it's still being released to this day. I need to go check again. Yeah, it's still being released. The manga isn't even finished yet. So, and I am loving everything. It is the cutest manga ever. It is the cutest show ever. You will definitely love it. Ooh, one complaint though, the guy who plays Ida, when I looked at him, I was like, he looks a few years older. And then I looked it up and he's like 25. So he was like 24, 25, playing Ida. They're all, of course, above 18. But the guy playing Aoki is like 18, 19. The girl playing Hashimoto is like 20, 21 or something like that. And so is... or 21, 22. And so is the guy playing Aida. Him and the girl playing Hashimoto are like around the same age. But what makes it worse is that the guy playing Ida has such a chiseled face and everything that in the scene where they're outside and after the study session at his house and Aoki's leaving, I'm like, he looks like a teacher in that suit. He looks like an office worker. He looks like a grown man talking to a teenage boy. They're supposed to be the same age. They're like, what, 15, 16? They don't look it. No, sir. That was like my only complaint, and I didn't care. I honestly didn't care about it because I prefer when adults play teenagers anyway. But in a wholesome show like this, teenagers could have played teenagers because it was really wholesome and really sweet. Y'all could have had teenagers playing teenagers, but I don't care because it was just such a great show. I feel like everything was so well written that I loved the whole thing. The only thing I wish the show could have done, and I don't know how rating systems work in Japan, so maybe they couldn't do this because the show would have been given like a higher rating. I know in like South Korea, if two men kiss on screen, it's automatically is an R rating. So that is why a lot of shows ain't going there. They don't want to get an R rated and be taken off of the TVs or changed from being a family show. That we remember we learned the whole thing with Holland's music video. So the only thing I didn't like is in the English subtitles that I read throughout, he never says the word, no one ever uses the word gay or bi, and nothing like that. Even in the part where Mr. Okana thinks that that Aoki is doing some really nefarious activities that he must rescue him from because he's a child, he doesn't use the word gay. He doesn't even need to use a slur or anything. He never uses the word gay at all. I'm like, if anyone's going to use the word gay, it's the bigot. And that's just in the English translation of the whole thing. Now, I don't know because I don't speak Japanese, that maybe nothing was just translated for the English translation, which I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, I kind of only wish that he maybe had a whole thing where he's like, well, then again, it also is kind of okay, I guess, that because the way they did it, it didn't feel like, so I'm conflicted as well, because at the same time I'm like, well, he doesn't need to label himself if he doesn't want to label himself, because there's that as well. But for representation side, I'm like, it would have been cool if he used like the word gay or bi, like even when he was talking to Hashimoto, like him going, not just going, I didn't know I'd like a guy, but just going, I've never even thought about the fact that I could be gay or bi, because I've just never really fully liked someone before, like something like that. And just for representation mainly, that's kind of my only real gripe with it, because everything else, I love that show overall. Ida is a 25-year-old man. Okay, whatever. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Have you seen My Love Mix-Up? Because I just love that show. Please let me know. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the link tree in the description to read the WordPress and also to follow me on my socials. Yay. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. Have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Whatever it is, wherever you are.